What's going on, YouTube world and Pamper Gang? This is the boy with the Pampers and the Toys, Al, recording from Paradise. And please make sure you like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, the boy with the Pampers and the Toys. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe to your family, your friends, and your enemies. And also check out my Twitter and my Instagram accounts, the boy with the Pampers and the Toys, same name, listed on the screen. And today it's going to be one of them days where let's go back to the old school a little bit. On this channel, we don't just talk about new or fair toys. We can talk about stuff that's old too. So that's what I want to be so different about my channel, is to overall talk about everything, even if it's old or new. So I actually a while back came in contact with some more of these figures right here of this iconic TV show that I don't think it comes on no more. I haven't watched this since season 3, honestly. And this is The Walking Dead. So, The Walking Dead was one of them zombie-like shows. It reminded me of Resident Evil, Evil Dead, Hell the King a little bit, you know, or just a zombie franchise movie from the 80s. It was a TV show with a series. I can't remember how many seasons it was, because I really stopped watching it after the 3rd season, because I felt like with the animated tiger that they had on there, it did not look realistic. It looked more Disney and not scary. So maybe that's probably why I went downhill after a while. But enough said. It didn't Beth. I think it was Beth, the little blonde teenage girl that sang and played her piano. She ended up getting the axe on the show, and that just ruined my moment, because I really like Beth. I think her name was Beth. If it wasn't, correct me in the comments in the future, if you comment. So today we're going to be talking about 4 figures that I picked up for like $5 a piece. And first we're going to be talking about let's go in order. Let's get into talk about the feminine energy first in the introduction. Sasha. Sasha was a character on the show. I hate having my camera's positions because it looks like y'all reading backwards. But Sasha was a character on the show, and she was a fan favorite. A lot of people liked her. I liked her. She was cool for what she stood for on the show. Then next, we're going to be talking about Negan. I'm not really too fond of his character. I saw some episodes. I did glance at the show a little bit after season 3, but I was like die hard watching the show from season 1 to season 3. But when season 4 came and they started showing all that little crazy stuff, I'm like, nah, not good. Then next we're going to be talking about Morgan. And I'm trying to remember fairly about Morgan in the series. I knew he was like a right-hand man to Rick Grimes, but we'll think about some things. And last but not least, we'll talk about the one and only Mr. Rick Grimes himself. I know fully about his origins of his story, and it was good origins. And I'm going to be talking about some extra characters that I already had, unopened from years ago. I had a few, but we'll get into that. So first, let's talk about the one and only Sasha. They said series 10. McFarlane actually makes these action figures, so as you can see, the artwork is very I'm going to say like Vincent Van Gogh, and Bob Ross a little bit, the painting, which is a plus. I'm giving him a compliment. McFarlane does make some great figures. They did, and they still continue to go for greatness. I just think I'm assuming they're a little bit underrated more than like Mattel and Hasbro, but okay. So Sasha was in this series right here on the back. It had pretty much everybody on the back up here, if you can see everybody. And these figures, when did they come out? 2017. So I'm not really sure when The Walking Dead went off the air, because I don't really see no more promotion of it at all online or anything like that. So I think it's off the air. Okay, so let's get this open. And I can't really remember what Sasha's, like, where did she come from in the series. It's been so long since I actually saw the show. I remember bits and pieces of it. I just, like I said, watching until season 3, it just wasn't my thing no more. I'm like, oh, they just look at too Walt Disney for me. And I like Disney, but sorry, Walt. All right. So, with the grand scheme of things, I tell you what, when they put these, when they actually put these weapons and accessories in these packages, like, they put tape on these for the gods. Zeus and everybody, Athena. I ain't gonna say with love, I'm gonna say with a bolt. Okay, so let's see. I can't remember if I got scissors right here. I don't know why I'm sitting here struggling trying to pop a band or two off here. So before I explain these accessories, well, I'm gonna explain that first. So with Sasha, only thing I knew about her character is that she was pretty much a good, overall good person. Because I didn't watch it after season 3. She could have switched up. Because one thing I learned about shows like Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead, the main character, you think it's the main character, it's not really about the main character, it's overall about the characters. And I love that they had twists with the show. You never knew who was going to come up next or anything like that, who was going to betray their group, because everybody had like a group in that show. And the town, they voted mayors and governors, and we'll get into that with some of the characters. So, looks like Sasha does come with some sort of pouch, maybe she could put on the side of her, and we'll connect that. It's a little green pouch or purse. She comes with a beautiful assault rifle. This is why I respected so much about the Walking Dead weapons. These weapons look realistic, like they painted, sculpted them pretty well. And it's got a sniper sniper scope on it, so I knew Sasha was good with, seeing something from a distance and get it. Then she comes with this knife right here, a good knife support, everything. Pretty cool knife. It's a little small, but hey, the characters, the action figures are pretty small. Last but not least, I keep saying I'm gonna get some tweezers so y'all can see the gun up and close. So she comes with a nice little small handgun. I love this handgun. It reminds me of just the G.I. Joe days, little miniatures back in the 80s. So you can't go wrong with a gun this size. Then next, let's talk about our character. So Sasha, African American female character. They had some great articulation on their action figures, honestly. Like I really had no complaints about the figures. Now, some of them I did, because there's one character I'm going to show you that wasn't articulated with the legs. So as you can see, Sasha has pins on her back. I don't agree with the pins. And she has pins in the front. So this is pretty much how they made some of their characters. She has this right here for her knife. So I'm going to put her knife right here in her little knife holder, which is pretty awesome. And that right there, the little hook thing, is for her pouch. So we're going to connect her little pouch. Because she always was like, I'm assuming she was like almost like a nurse or something. I don't really know her origins. I can't remember because it's been so long. So I always respected that for them to have some small figures of this stature, they were articulated pretty well. The feet, didn't move up and down, but I didn't really care. As you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the pins. I love pinless knees. Like, she got double jointed knees right here. But the pins, I just hate. I don't like pins. They're dangerous because they fall out if you drop the character too many times. The figure. The color, they got the color I done dropped the pouch. Y'all heard that? That's all right. So the color really of the clothes and the skin complexion, the hair texture, the hair scope mode really fits along with the character. It really looks like the actual character in the TV show. And if you can see her face up close in person, if it's not a glare, maybe if I do like that, y'all can see and zoom in. So, what else can I say about her? So her gun will go right here as well too. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'll pick up her little pouch later on. It's not that serious. And so I'm gonna let her hold her assault rifle because I don't. Sasha usually will hold two guns. You know, she was a no joke when it comes to that. A lot of these characters usually have like a lot of action figures. It just depends. I know McFarlane is one of the people with. They have like a little. I'm gonna show you a figure that does have that, like a little thing in her hand where you can just connect the rifle onto the hand, and eventually that thing would get kind of warped and the gun doesn't hold. But in this case, she doesn't have it. So I do like this figure a whole lot. This brings out the reality of the character in the show. So I give her definitely a 10 out of 10. You can find Walking Dead figures for like $4, $5 at your. They not really popular no more, so they're not really selling like they should. Some of these apps on your phone, like Macari, which I do shop on there. I ain't saying don't shop on there, but some of them prices are ridiculous for a bundle of these figures. I'm not paying no $400 for a bundle when I can buy. I bought each one of these four. I only paid $20 for all four of them. So you do the math if I'm going to get about 12 figures. But Sasha, everybody. So let's move on. Show her one more time. Beautiful girl. Next, let's talk about. Oops. I wasn't going to order that. I said I was going to go in. Let's talk about Negan. I do know that Negan, and here is the back of the series. He's series 10 as well. Negan was an evil character. He was one of Rick Grimes' ultimate arch nemesis. I just knew he was a leader of a town that captured Rick and his team of people. Because Rick started off with a lot of people in his camp, and some people just turned their backs on him. I don't think they believed in him anymore. I don't know what it was. But with Negan, he I don't know if he's the one that had the animated tiger. Who knows? I should have did some deep research on this before I did this video, but I just said, you know what? I can't really give the whole story of the show. Okay, so Negan, he doesn't really come with a lot of weapons of choice, but he was really known on the show to have like a barbed wire bat, but she comes with that. And then he's got this glove thing going on right here that I'm trying to get open. There we go. Okay, so he comes with a glove. He comes with this barbed wire bat, which I think is cool. I love the art, the craft, the colors they put into it. They really detailed it. I would have loved for the bat to be a little bit more, not the bat, but the barbed wire around it. As you can see, the barbed wire to be a little bit more thicker, just a little thicker. And here is Negan right here. As you can see, the articulation is really good and very well sculpted on these figures right here. Because, you know, McFarlane, they very arts and crafty when it comes to the paint work. The face looks just like Negan, the actor. I don't know what the actor's name is. I think I just only know one actor's name on the show. That's about it in real life. So, as you can see, they very well detailed with the actual jacket, the hands. As you know, he got another hand too, a glove. You know, he got these leather gloves on, so we can switch out this hand just to show you. Well, hold on. It doesn't make sense to, That's kind of weird because you would think that his hand would go like this. Um, I guess you get. I guess he only had one glove. That was his iconic look. So I can't. Uh, I can't really go by what I thought he supposed to wear two gloves. I think one's a trigger hand. I don't know if I can put this hand back on, gang. There we go. So he got a trigger hand right here, which is crazy, but he doesn't come with a gun. So I believe this right here, this hand is for him to hold the bat. So I don't see what was the point. I guess if you decide to actually make him have a gun, I don't know. So let me put this bat. Now you got to be very careful with this bat because this bat is very delicate. You can break this in half. It's so thin. So when you putting this bat in his hand, it is going to bend a little bit. So you will definitely have to like maneuver. Goodness gracious. Well, could he hold it with this trigger hand right here? I don't know. Maybe I'm going to try to hold the bat with this hand right here. How about that? See what I mean? The bat at the bottom just broke off at the bottom. I think back then, I can't complain about McFarlane Toys because they don't make no more Walking Dead figures, but they're scattered online. It broke off. You see that part right there where it broke off? Because I was trying to fit it in his hand, but I couldn't. So, but basically, the articulation is really great. They did very well detailed with that, and the face sculpt is phenomenal. And the head doesn't move for real too much. So that's why I didn't show with Sasha, which I do apologize. But Sasha's head goes up and down. So I meant to show that. That wasn't fair of me to do that. But back to Negan. Negan's head don't move at all. I think it'll break off. It doesn't move. There's no articulation. So I'll be scared to move his legs around too much too because of them pins could break off. That's why I'm not with the pins. Like the elbow, double jointed elbows and pin elbows, I'm just not a fan of it. But I give him a 9.4 out of 10. The reason why is because he didn't come with a weapon of choice. Another weapon besides the bat. The bat was too thin, it broke off, and his head doesn't move up and down. So I had to take off some points for that. But I would say you can go online and get these. You might find them for $5 like I did. I don't know. But I do like this figure, so we're going to move on. So next, we're going to be talking about Mr. Morgan. Morgan, I know he was like Rick Grimes' right-hand man. I don't think he was to be, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he ever turned his back on Rick. I didn't watch the series after season 3. It got too much for me. I think it was season 3 or 4 that Beth ended up getting deleted off the show. But, oh well. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Alright, so with that being said, it looks like Morgan comes with a lot of good things. And honestly, with like his assault rifle being taped down like this, that's one thing I did not like about these action figures is that they tape them down and then a person, if you're not knowing like me, you want to rip it out, but you can't rip them out, which is so unfortunate, for real. So, alright. So with Morgan, he comes with some good quality stuff. And I knew he was tough. He was a tough guy. So, first, let's talk about his accessories. He comes with a good backpack you can put around his arms, which is pretty decent. Remind me of a G.I. Joe. And he comes with this great assault rifle. Doesn't look too different from Sasha's, but except it has a smaller scope than Sasha's. Then he comes with an interchangeable head, which I'm going to show that. You know, he always wore the mask, like the gas mask and whatever it may be. I don't know. Was he trying to be Jason on the show? I can't remember. The African American version of Jason. So, Morgan does have a hood, but he can take off the hood. So, as you can see, he's African American as well. The articulation, again, is not as well stretched out like Negan's. I'm not understanding why, because Sasha, you would think her articulation was pretty well too. Her stretch. I had to go back to her real quick, but I think with his jacket being the way it is, it's not gonna be like that. So he got double jointed pin elbows as well as knees. The artwork is pretty crafty on here. He does have a little slot in the back of him for something you can hook. I think it's his... I don't know what you can hook on the back. I think it's his hoodie. His hoodie has that part where you can hook on the back of it, but I don't think he'll need it. But he always did wear the hood in the show. So I'm going to show him with the mask on. So as you can see, the little small ball pin head. And let me put the backpack on him too. Because he was always good with supplies. Him and Sasha, I knew they was really good with the supply. Now, I will say this. It seems like the backpack, and these figures are pretty old, so the backpack strap broke off. So you got to be very careful, I guess, taking down the thing. But that's what he looks like with that. Let's go ahead and put him on, and put this gun around him. Be very careful with the gun handles because they could break off. If their hands are pretty hard, so I think it's easier to break the plastic off because it's two different materials that they use to make these figures. So as you can see, I don't think I got him holding the gun really properly well. I tried. Okay, so let me try to stretch his hands out just a little bit, because I think it's fair to show that he can properly hold his gun. This is kind of weird. I'm about to break this handle on this gun real quick. Well, I did it the best way I could, gang. So there he go with his gun. The mask is pretty iconic. I like it, but let's show this man's face. His head doesn't really move too well up and down like Sasha's did, but it's okay. But I'll give this figure a 9.7 out of 10. The reason why is because the backpack broke off. His head doesn't have good articulation. Arms move pretty well. And there's different figures to choose from with different type of outfits and articulation. Assuming, because I don't have a lot of these figures, but I have enough. So there is Morgan, everybody. Oh, and the one more thing I didn't show was his stick he came with. He comes with like a stick. So there is his staff. He usually fights with that. Morgan was good with hand-to-hand combat. Not like martial arts, but he could defend himself. So just to show you that. So last but not least, let's talk about our iconic character, Mr. Rick Grimes. I do know a lot about Rick Grimes because I paid attention to the beginning of the show. Rick's wife, you know, she was the love of his life, and Rick had a son. And I know she was pregnant with the daughter because the baby daughter was all through the series. She was a baby girl, and Rick had to kill his wife because she got bit by a zombie. And that was the most heartbreaking thing ever for him. And the show made you actually feel the energy that he felt about the virus. And he was actual sheriff of that town where the outbreak happened at. So, you just took it upon yourself to imagine that you were Rick the whole time watching the show, and it made you connect with him on an emotional level. So, Rick comes with a nice little crafty thing of weapons. I just wish they wasn't like taped down so much. And I do have another Rick figure where he's in his sheriff attire. And I'm going to show that as well too. Alright, come on, come on. He's a traitor, an invader. He's the masquerader. You don't have to be a victim. Alright. Okay. So Rick comes with a phone. The iconic phone. I'm trying to think why was iconic. I just said iconic. But I think this is going back season 1, maybe, possibly. And this is the same series 10. So I know I didn't show the back and say where it came from. And then Rick does come with his nice old it's like a Magnum revolver, something like that, but it's a beautiful gun. And he does come with a handgun. Rick always comes packed with good heat. And another assault rifle with a nice little small scope, almost similar to Morgan's gun. Maybe I think he was the one who gave Morgan the gun in the game. The show. It was a game too afterwards. So here's Rick Grimes right here, everybody. Very well sculpted, detailed character. He's very articulated pretty well. The head doesn't move up and down. It doesn't even really move. You probably got to add a little heat, but I'm not trying to do all of that. Because these figures are kind of older, so they've been in a package a long time. I don't want them to fall off and break. You just never know. The pinless things I'm not a fan of, but I'm not going to take off really points because of the pins. I mean, all the characters got pins. So, looks like Rick in the face. So, let's go ahead and see what can Rick hold. What can Rick hold? Like I said before, it's going to be kind of hard to get these. There's one handgun in his hand right here. Nice little popper, just cha-ching. So, let's be fair and let him hold 2 guns, because Rick was really good with these pistols on the show. I actually kind of wish I would never turn myself down from watching it after season 3. I just thought it got a little bit animated, a little bit for me. So as you can see, here's him holding both weapons of choice. So now, just to show you what he looked like, holding his weapons of choice. So let's go ahead and put this revolver in his gun holder right here, as you can see. Nice little gun holder. Hope everybody can see it real good. So let's go ahead and see how he looks holding this nice cha-ching. I wanted Rick to come with a hat, but he didn't come with a hat, so unfortunately that was sad. So the phone he's supposed to hold, but I guess he could use it as a weapon to hit the zombie or whatever it may be. I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him hold his handgun right here. Alright, so here's another Rick Grimes figure where he's in his sheriff attire. This figure wasn't really articulated pretty well. His legs does not move for real. But they kind of like an old 80s action figure, but I feel like I'm going to break this figure because it looks like it needs some heat right there, but I'm not going to try to go through all of that. So This is pretty much Rick in his sheriff uniform, and then this is Rick the Rebel, the leader of his squad, just ready for vengeance against this whole um, post-apocalyptic zombie outbreak. So, and as a treat, I want to show some few characters I already had in my possession. Now, Daryl, I had Daryl, but I think I lost that figure when I was moving a while back. That's how old I've been having these figures for a minute. I lost Daryl, and I had another male figure. I can't think of the Asian guy's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. So first and foremost, let's show Michonne. I do have a Michonne figure. She's not really created like the other ones. Like, I'm gonna put her side by side with Sasha. So there are no pins with Michonne, but everything else. And there is Michonne right here. So I don't know if these. I think these were created first, and then they started moving on to the articulation, better articulation with the actual product. So there's Michonne. She came with a sword and her hoodie. Next, we have Andrea. Remember Andrea? She was the film. She was more like an anti character because she played both roles until she came unalive for being sneaky. She was doing something with the governor. She was playing both sides with Rick and the governor. I don't know what her role was. I don't know if she was a news reporter or whatever it could be, but she was a likable blonde on the show. She don't have pins at all either, but she moves around like other characters as well. Okay. Then next we have Maggie Green. Maggie Green was a very well-liked character. Her boyfriend was the eight. I'm just describing him, and I no disrespect to anybody out there if I'm saying anything wrong. I'm just describing the guy. That was his girlfriend, the Asian guy. I don't know what his name was. And my computer went down so I could look up and see what his name was. So me, I do apologize. So that was Maggie. Maggie was very iconic on the show. She was kind of like the Jill Valentine of the show of Resident Evil. As well, she's made just like the older ones that I do have. And then next we have Carol. Now Carol was the one who just didn't give a damn no more. She lost her family, so she's like, I'm just in it to get these out the way. Do I know if Carol survived on the show? I'm not for sure. I just knew that her and Dale was unstoppable force with Rick's team. She was that apple pie mother that turned like to a warrior. As you can see, she just didn't care no more. She put blood on her face to blend in, and she had her bow and arrow right here, which I don't know how you're supposed to hold that with her hands. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Last but not least, we do have Beth. Beth was the one that was at the end of, I think, season 3 that ended up becoming unalive. She's created just like the other characters with the pins on the back of it, as you can see. I did have a machine gun that she had, but you know, as I've said before, here is a little palm of her hand where it's like a little thing to hold the gun, but I can't find it. I dropped it somewhere. I'll find it one day. So there's, I think her name is Beth. If fans of the show see this video, correct me if I'm wrong. But there you have it, everybody. Definitely have it. These are the 4 characters I wanted to present of the show, the most iconic show of the past, The Walking Dead. And I really like these figures. I'm gonna get some more figures if I can find them for cheap. Definitely real soon. And I will put all of them up here, but the video was about these 4. So I would like to thank all my friends. Just stay out the box. I would like to thank all my friends for subscribing to my YouTube channel, The Boy with the Pampers and the Toys. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Boy with the Pampers and the Toys. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe to your family, your friends, and your enemies. The girl done lost her knife, didn't she? And also check out my Twitter, Instagram, account, same name as it is on YouTube. I think I'm gonna shorten that so everybody knows what my YouTube channel is called. The same name on Twitter and Instagram as well. And I want to thank everybody for helping me reach 1,500 friends. Remember, I don't call my friends subscribers. Y'all not AI. Y'all are human. Y'all watch me. Y'all help me grow. I'm learning a lot more from my friends, and I'm gonna definitely have treats for you in the near future to show and the growth and the success that you're helping me get. And I thank you humbly and lovable all. Everyone have a great day. And we ready for war. What is it good for? Like YMCA, don't they?